Stuck in quarantine, don't know what to do. Hold on, baby, Rhonda, she's got you. Grab your computer, log on, baby, you got the power. It's the social distancing social life. The social distancing social life.
Hi, guys. I think this is our 4th week of the Rhonda Shear Social Distance Social Hour. Welcome. We've got great guests for you. We're going to have a lot of fun, do a couple of other little interesting things. And of course, when I say the word hair, you all drink whatever you have in front of you. Tea, coffee, wine, whatever. So cheers. We have a great lineup for you this evening of guests. So first of all, let me tell you who we have before bringing them on. We have, and I'm sure you're all going to remember this gentleman, Dan Myrick. He was a producer director of the Blair Witch Project, the scariest horror film that ever came out. And believe me, I hosted a bunch of horror films because no one knew in 1999 if this horror film was legitimately real, really happening to these kids or not. So I had the chills just thinking about it. So he's legendary. He was on the cover of Time magazine, really cool, way ahead of his time. Then we have also a very dear friend of mine, Adrena Austin, who's a spokeswoman and also hosts a really cool podcast from the UK. And it's all inclusive of women of all types, that maybe haven't been, just that their time hasn't come yet in country Western music. And she's just bringing them to the forefront and introducing the world to them. It's really cool. And she's doing it from the UK. And I think that's just fabulous what she's doing for women. And then we have another 2 dear friends of mine, which are part of a comedy duo. They're in a group called Damage Control. Funniest guys on the planet, Jay Hewlett and Martin Brown, and they'll be joining us later, and a couple of other little surprises. But in the meantime, I really would like to introduce my first guest, Dan Myrick. I'm really excited to talk to him. I never met him during my Up All Night years, and hopefully he's standing by. Hey, Dan, how are you? Hey. Well, you never know what's going to happen here. Can you see me, Dan? Okay, I think it's a hello. Can you hear me? Can't hear me. Okay, well, I don't know if it's from our end or your end. I'll mime. Let's see. Just hold on.
Can you hear me?
I do. Can you make it a little louder? Okay. How are you? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Just hang in there, everybody. This is what we call live. What do we call this? Live Facebook. Dan's used to this. He's a producer director. You can't hear me? Can you hear me? We are going to mime it. Well, I don't know if my producers can hear me, but maybe you can test Dan and get him back in a second. If you guys are tuning in. I heard him for a second.
Hey, Rhonda, this is Gene. Must be some kind of technical difficulty because we tested that like twice already. So,
well, you know what it is. It's like he produced and directed the Blair Witch Project, which is scary. So
okay.
Maybe I actually read there's some ghosts and some really weird things going on right now with COVID-19. It was in the New York Times.
Yeah.
People are really seeing ghosts. So maybe it has something to do with that whole thing.
All right. So what we'll do is, we're going to have Ken's going to try to get him to log back in and see what the difficulty is.
Okay, that's
fine. In the meantime, I don't know. Ken, do you have her dogs queued up? Do we have any of the baby dogs that talk about your dogs?
Well, before I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But let me introduce this.
Okay.
This is Gene May. He's one of my many producers.
Yes.
And he's also part of Damage Control, the comedy group. And we've done a lot of great sketches. We also have Ken Bradley in the background and Marie Crane who are bringing this to you. So everybody is social distancing across the Tampa Bay area. But I'm definitely seeing some more people that are tuning in, including my dear friend Peter Horowitz and his wife Donna. And I'm like, oh, and there's my puppies. But I just want to say, what are you doing in Destin? I thought we're supposed to be hunkering down. I think that's really cool that you guys are over there. See, I'm too afraid to leave my house. But thanks, Gene. That's Curly Girl. And those are some of my puppies. And we have Sweetie and Girly Girl. And I hope you guys are, while we're showing puppies, I hope you guys are doing well. I've been having a good week. Are you getting out? I actually had my hair.
Did you hear that?
When you hear that, drink up. I had my hair colored, but so that's
Okay.
Even Honey Baby had her hair colored. Oh wait, there's Dan again. Hi,
Hey.
Dan.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Good.
I'm
I
out.
can hear him. Can we get him a little louder?
Testing. Hello, hello.
Or maybe I can do something on my end to get you louder. Darn, you're a handsome young man.
Thank you.
There you go. Wow, you are. I mean, I've seen these pictures of you from when you were just, I guess, right out of college when you did the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago.
1999, right?
Yeah, that's when Blair came out, and it kind of spilled into 2000, but it was a crazy ride in those days. But yeah, we were young and naive in those days.
No. You literally changed. I mean, no, okay. I hosted USA Up All Night, and so we had a lot of horror films. And so I was off. We finished in 1998. It was the end of the show. And then you came out with Blair Witch Project after that. And truly, I was one of those people that like, is this for real? I mean, you changed the genre. You really did reality before reality, because back then, the internet was just starting to happen. As a matter of fact, I met my husband back then on what did we meet on? Classmates.com. That's how long ago.
Oh wow!
We met. I didn't meet him. We were high school sweethearts. We reconnected on Facebook. But you created a major stir in the industry, and very exciting. And I've been keeping up a little bit and reading about what you're doing. And you started a studio here in the Tampa Bay area, but you're not from Tampa originally, are you?
No, I'm from Sarasota, so I'm a little south. But I grew up on Lombo Key and lived in Sarasota for many years. And I went to college in film school at University of Central Florida in Orlando. So I have a lot of friends in Tampa, and so I reconnected with a friend of mine, Kristen Crumple, who also grew up in Sarasota. On my last movie, I was shooting in California, and he now lives in Tampa. I said, we want to get production back in Florida, and I said that'd be great. It'd be kind of a homecoming for me as well, and so we started some projects, and we opened up this little power station studio there.
That is fabulous.
It's been great.
And I heard it's all encompassing, so people can come there, and is it more experimental, or it encompasses everything? You can shoot
a little
there.
bit. We have a lot of stuff in development. We just started shooting a series before, of course, the virus rolled through. But we started this series called Black Veil, which is an online streaming horror anthology that we're working with iHorror.com, who are out of St. Pete area. So we're doing that, and that we shot the pilot episode, which I'm editing right now as we speak. So that's underway, and as soon as we can kind of get back into production, we've got 5 more episodes to do with that.
I saw the poster. It was really creepy and really fabulous. Like, I'm excited. And you're using Ybor as the backdrop, right?
Yeah. Ybor is great, and there's another project that we want to do in Ybor, which is sort of a ghost story that takes place in Ybor. So yeah, we've got a lot going on, and we're even dabbling a little bit with some potential VR kind of experimental work and whatnot. There's just a lot of potential, both in kind of the gaming and the online streaming area, as well as feature films, which is my background. So we're excited. Once things get rolling again, it's a lot to do.
Well, I'm excited that you've stayed here and you've embraced Florida, because I think now more than ever you can live anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
It would be really great if, hopefully, I haven't kept up. Are we keeping up? Is Florida keeping up with you guys and embracing the film industry again, or is it still a struggle?
Well, there's a lot of talent in Florida, and what I've said for years, there's a lot of film schools, technical schools, everything from Full Sail to University of Central Florida, and of course up north. There's a lot of talent being produced in Florida, and much of which is kind of leaving and going away to where the markets are. And I think if Florida sort of kind of reinstituted that kind of film incentive program that they had back in the 90s, a lot of production would embrace that and come back in like it's happened in Atlanta up north. So yeah, we're hoping for that to kind of rekindle that kind of bigger, broader kind
Well,
of.
anything I can do. I have a big mouth. I do a lot of philanthropic things. I know a lot of people in this town. Let me get on board.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's
I
great.
mean it. I really mean it. I'll go make some noise. I'm from New Orleans originally, and New
Yeah,
Orleans really owned the film business for a while. Then it dropped out, and I feel like it's coming back there with some series. But
yeah.
I mean, I think that, and I love New Orleans, and I think it's a great backdrop to film as well. But I mean, I think Florida has everything just as well. I mean, we've got I mean,
Yes, especially Tampa. I mean, Tampa is a great hub. It's got a lot of different locations in Hillsborough, Pinellas County, that whole area, in St. Pete as well. And you have an international airport, which is very accessible. You've got the
right.
beaches, and I mean, there's so much going on. You've got inner city kind of cool, grungy city look. If you want New York kind of feel, you've got deep water ports. I mean, you've got so many different kinds of
You
looks that
do.
creative people want. You can do all kinds of stuff there. So and it's very central. So it's
It
hard to
is.
beat.
It's great for actors. So, what draws you to the horror genre? What draws you to that?
I mean, it's always been something I think I've grown up with. I like horror and sci-fi in particular, and one thing which is good for is that you don't really need big celebrities to kind of make
No,
make a hit with something like that. That's Blair, which is a reaffirmation of that. But it's just fun, and most of the people in the horror space are really cool people. They're great to hang out with. They're doing it for all the right reasons, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a real fun genre to be a part of, and so whenever we go shoot something, we always have a blast doing it.
well, I mean, I dabbled in it a little. I mean, I hosted horror films, and then and comedies and B films, and that whole world. I mean, people that grew up with me are like they want to produce those kind of like fun, easy, come home from work, turn on the TV films. But it's interesting. I heard that they're changing a lot of things. Like when I did roles in these films, and there was like a bloody scene, like you'd have to have the blood in your mouth, and you'd have to pop the capsule. But now
Yeah.
I hear they're doing this after in special effects. Is
A
that what
lot of it is. I mean, a lot depends on your budget. There's some effects work better, physical effects on set, so you can just do it, get it done, and not have to do it all in CGI, which costs money. But
right?
it's usually a combination. You'll do some physical effects on set, and you'll augment it in post because it's so you can do whatever you want now with visual effects, especially if you've got the budget. So there's a lot of flexibility in really, really enhancing stuff that you shoot. So
I
it's
like
a great
the
time.
old. I like it the old-fashioned way. Are you in touch with any of the cast? And what have happened to some of those people? Apparently, they lived.
Yes, they definitely lived. Well, yeah, I mean, Michael Williams is up in New Jersey, New York area. He's got an acting class that he's doing now. Joshua Leonard, he's a really talented writer director in his own right.
Right,
He just had a movie I think that went into Tribeca, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
And Heather lives in Northern California. Last I checked, and she wrote a book a few years ago, and
Wow.
so everyone's living their lives, doing their thing. And I know he's producing. My co-director on Blair is producing a TV series and shot a lot in New Orleans actually. So yeah, everyone's keeping busy.
I mean, I know you've told this story a million times, but I mean, I know a lot of people are watching that are also fans. We're up all night in that world. I mean, how did you even come up with the idea to do that kind of film? When I mean, there wasn't the content now. There wasn't, there was such a need, and the internet. There was no reality, anything. I mean, you were
Right.
what made you even think to do something? Like, were you having a glass of wine or whatever else?
I mean,
Something.
we couldn't afford wine, but it was real cheap beer. But um, but I think the basic idea just came up with Ed and I. We were in college, and we just wanted something that was really scary, and we grew up on like that old show In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy
Oh
and
yeah,
Legend of Boggy Creek, and those are sort of pseudo documentaries that always creeped us out.
oh yeah.
So we wanted to kind of play in that space that like what we shot or what we did, was it real or not? Because that really had an effect on us. So that sort of was the germ that kind of got going. And then we needed to come up with a premise and all that kind of stuff. So that came later on. But the idea to make it sort of like a pseudo documentary came pretty early.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it was really brilliant that you guys put out. I guess that these actors were like missing for a year later, right? Like no one really knew if they were
Well, I
alive.
mean, it went on for about, I mean, Artisan, which was the distribution company that picked up the movie, they kept the ruse going for about 2 weeks, but then, the actors were doing interviews for Premiere Magazine, and it just, I mean, you can only keep it going for so long. So,
It
but
was
yeah,
amazing.
it was fun, and there were a lot of people very surprised that they were actually just actors. Even though there's credits at the end of the movie, you can see they're actors. But
That
but
it was just brilliant, brilliant.
thank
I
you.
mean, I know you did. I guess is it out Skyman? I read a little bit about
Yeah,
that. More of an
yeah.
alien or
There's a
UFO?
film called Skyman. It's sort of a pseudo documentary as well about a man named Carl Merriweather that claims he was visited by an alien out in the desert when he was a kid with his father, and like 30 years later, he's feeling compelled to go back out and reunite with this alien. So
Woo!
we're following him on his journey. So that just got picked up by Gravitas Ventures and should be releasing July 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's coming out here soon.
Well, one more question for you before I let you go. Other than you need to cast me in your next film,
Sure.
how are you doing like during this shutdown? Like, I mean, I know friends, I have friends that are comics, friends that are makeup artists. Like, how do you get back to work with this social distancing thing? I mean, it's you really hard
It's
to do those
difficult.
love scenes.
It's
What?
difficult. I mean, we're certainly getting a lot done on the writing side. There's a lot of writing and creative development that we're able to do. We've got 5 more shows to do for Black Veil in Florida and
Right.
Tampa area. So that's good for us because we're able to really focus on the writing and the script. So that's time well spent. But when those scripts are ready, we're not quite sure what it's going to be like to go back into production. And obviously we want it to be safe. But at the same time, we want to get the economic gears turning again and get production back going because we were
Right.
going full steam just
Right.
a couple months ago. So we want to get back into that mode again. But it'll happen. It'll come maybe
And
a little slowly. But
I
you know,
imagine if anyone can do it creatively and maybe a new way, it will be you.
we'll figure it out one
You'll
way or
figure
another.
out a way to scare the pants off of us, even from far distance.
Yes,
I want to thank you, Dan, so much for joining me tonight. We're having fun with this little show. We're still working out some technical bugs, but I appreciate it. And seriously, anything I can do to help get this film industry really kicking butt here in Florida. Call me.
absolutely.
I have a big
Thank
mouth.
you.
Thank you so much. You have a
All right.
great night. Thank you,
You
Dan.
too. Take
Bye.
care. Stay safe. Bye.
Thank you. Dan, oh my God, Myrick. I mean, if you've never seen Blair Witch Project, you got to see it. I have the chills. I had the chills the whole time speaking to him because it was so brilliant and so ahead of its time, and long before reality. I mean, it was true reality, anyway, it gives me the creeps. You got to watch it. Okay, well, coming up right now, I have a very special friend who's coming all the way from the UK, and her name is Adrena Austin. And I'm going to have to go change very quickly my hair to do this interview because she's a girl and I have to have a different look. So I'm going to change my hair and my outfit in 1 second. Enjoy Adrena. Watch how fast I can change.
Comfort, support, confidence. That's what you'll find at rhondashear.com. Shop award-winning intimates, shaping, and apparel in sizes extra small through 3X.
It's the social distancing social life. The social distancing social life.
Thank you for joining us on Saturday night. It's great. Well, we're going to go all the way to the UK now, and I want to introduce a very special lady. Her name is Adrena Austin. She is an amazing entrepreneur. She's also done wonderful things for me as she has been my spokesperson on QVC in the UK, and she's modeled for me, and she has a twin sister in LA, and she's got an amazing story, and right now she's got this incredible podcast. But I want to check up with her, how she's doing in the UK with all the stuff that's going on. And we're going to talk about hair. Oh, hi, Adrena.
Hi. Hair.
Got to grab a drink when we say hair.
Good thing I'm ready right here.
Oh, that's good. Van went downstairs to get me another one. So
well, cheers to you.
Well, thank you. Anyway, you look beautiful.
Thank you. So do you. I'm loving the hair.
Well, I've decided to start experimenting with it. So I'm wearing all different color wigs right now. And then we're going to have a contest to see which wig wins.
I love it. You got to have
I'm very inspired by the show. Have you ever seen the show Schitt's Creek?
Yes. Oh my gosh. More.
Drink when we say hair.
Good thing I'm ready right here.
Oh, that's good. Van went downstairs to get me another one. So
cheers to you.
Well, thank you. Anyway, you look beautiful.
Thank you. So do you. I'm loving the hair.
Well, I've decided to start experimenting with it. So I'm wearing all different color wigs right now. And then we're going to have a contest to see which wig wins.
I love it. You got to have
I'm very inspired by the show. Have you ever seen the show Schitt's Creek?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Moira.
Moira. Well, Moira's got all these wigs, and I'm very inspired by her wigs. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. Even though I did have my hair colored. I did.
Yes.
I did. My nails suck, but my hair's colored. Anyway, let me catch up with you. So what's it like over there in the UK? Because you guys have been are you on lockdown still? Are you able to move around?
We are. We have been on lockdown since the end of March. And, it's very similar to the US. I'm sure it's been a real roller coaster, really. So everything's been closed down except for essential businesses. So basically pharmacies, your doctor's office, the grocery store, things like that are open, but everything else is shut down. The kids are home.
Oh, that's right. You've got two boys, right? Two boys?
I've got a boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
I've got two kids under 5. So they're my new coworkers. So they get to work at home.
I mean, seriously, how do you keep children entertained? Like, I know I feel like if they were like my dogs, they'd be jumping off the wall. Not that I'm comparing dogs to dogs, but children. But I mean, how do you keep them calm and entertained?
Well, I will say my number one priority through this whole situation is making sure the health and the mental well-being of my children is okay. So I try to keep it light, let mommy do the worrying at another time. So we just try to have fun and, we're doing homeschooling, but it's like pre-K and first grade. So like, I'm good with the math. We can do that. And some days, some days we just do brownies and watch dinosaur programs, and that's okay too.
Actually,
so just making sure they feel loved and secure.
Some days I do preschool, and other days I just do brownies, and some days I just do sleep. It's okay. Yeah. I'm not beating myself up. It's all okay. Did I hear? Did your husband have COVID, or did someone in your family?
I did.
You did.
I had it. So, well, actually, I had it and my kids had it, which was really scary. But we don't know. I mean, we don't know without my husband being tested if he had it. We just assume the whole household has been exposed and we all quarantined. But what happened is I went to, I don't know exactly how I got it, but I went to Nashville the end of February because I was presenting for Country Line. There was a big country music event that was going on that week. So I flew over to Nashville, which I love, one of my favorite places. And about a week and a half later, I got the classic symptoms. So really high fever, the dry cough, the sore throat, the body aches, which I will say it was like bone pain. It wasn't even like body aches, like you couldn't sleep. And the fatigue, I think that was the biggest shock for me, was that I couldn't even get my head off the pillow for about 6 days. Wow. All I could do was like lay there and, try to rest, drink fluids, eat, things like that. But I was in bed for a good 6 days. But what I thought was interesting, so I'm at like 9 or 10 weeks out now, but I had an inflammatory reaction in my chest. So I've developed asthma as a result. I didn't have asthma before, and now I've got asthma.
But it may go away. It may go away with some time.
It may go away. Either way, I'm fine. Like, I'm talking to you here today. That is the good news. The kids are fine.
And prayers to you. Like, you're the first person I know that I've talked to that I know that had it, and you're so young, and it affected
Yeah.
you. That and so did your
Yeah.
husband take over all the?
He had to. He had to. I couldn't take care of the kids. I couldn't do anything. He had to. He was home. He was like the superhero. He took care of everything. So, yeah, I was.
You never went to the hospital. You didn't go to the hospital.
No, because they advised you. It was kind of funny. I spoke with them on the phone, and they're like, and I said, I feel shortness of breath. It was really pressure. It was pressure in my chest. And they're like, yes, but you're talking. You're still talking. So you're not that short of breath. So it was kind of, they want to keep people home as much as possible. Unless you need breathing assistance or, you feel like you can't cope at home. If I was by myself, I'll put it this way. If I was by myself, I would have been in the hospital. But because I had someone who was available to take care of me and he did such a great job.
How did they do?
The kids actually did better. You know how they say that the kids are less affected. So my daughter just had high temperature, but she was otherwise all right in herself. And then my 5-year-old, he had the he suffered. I felt really bad. He had the high temperature and he also had the fatigue and the body ache and, very tearful and all that. So it was very bad.
I just don't understand as much, I'm
No,
so
but
happy. You look beautiful. You don't look like you were
Oh,
sick at
thank
all.
you.
And I'm so glad that you're doing well. I have to tell you, it terrifies me because I'm a bit older than you. So, but we're going to keep it light. And I do want to hear about some other things. And thank goodness and thank God you're doing well. And actually, it's good for you to share with our audience. I think you're the first person we've had on who's actually had it. But you look fabulous.
Thank you. So yeah, the majority
sure
of us will be okay.
Asthma will go away. Because even when you have asthma, it can come and go in your life. So we're going to pray for that to just move on. But so you know what? I know your love of country music, and I know you're doing this podcast, and you're finding these country musicians that are like from all over and different walks of life, and very inclusive. They could be just really out there, and you wouldn't think that they would do country music, and they do. So tell me how you find them. Tell me about your podcast, and tell me about how your love for country music and how it all came about.
Well, thank you so much for asking about that. It is definitely something that I am so passionate about. My podcast is called Our Stories. And as you said, it's a celebration of the diverse people, sounds, and stories of country music. So one of the aspects of country music that I absolutely love is the storytelling aspect. And I feel like a lot of times on mainstream country radio, we really don't get to hear everybody's stories. A lot of groups are marginalized in mainstream country radio. People of color, there's, women, we don't hear women, we don't hear from the LGBTQ community. And for me, if you're only hearing one story, it gets very boring.
Right.
So I know that country music appreciates more of a diverse audience than what we think of. It's not all like cowboys and trucks and those kind of typical things that you think of when you think of country music. So what my podcast aimed to do was bring to light or to share those stories from people that are marginalized in mainstream country radio. So I've had guests like Trixie Mattel, who was a winner on RuPaul's Drag Race, who is an incredible country artist, Jimmy Allen, Lauren Elena, and it's just really fun. It's really fun.
It's so great of you to give these people a voice outside of their music and for people to hear their story. My husband, we both met in New Orleans, but he moved to Lafayette. Well, he's always had a love of country music, and it's the stories. It's the storytelling, which is so fabulous. But I do love that now it's very mainstream. So it's kind of, it's both. And so I think that country music, more people have fallen in love. And I know Nashville, like so many young people are just moving to Nashville and they love it. It's like, it's quite the place. It's the Hollywood. If you want to go, you go to Nashville, you fall in love. As a singer. Do you sing, Adrena? Do you sing?
No, that's why I'm, presenting and on radio and podcast and TV because I don't sing. I wish I did. I wish I did, but I have to use my strengths where I can, and that's not one of them.
That is fabulous. Well, you have to give us the name. How do we find the podcast? I'm sure my producers will put it up for you, but we need to find it.
Thank you. You can find it on iHeart. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's there.
Is it video as well, or is it just?
It's just audio.
Just audio. Well, that'll be the next step. I think that's great. Congratulations. And I just want everybody to know your husband is an MMA fighter, boxer. Boxer fighter?
Yeah, he's many things. He is retired military, so I'm very proud of him. And in that time, being in the Army, he was a medic. It's quite a physical role. He's looking for other outlets to keep fit, for his mental well-being and things like that. And he came across boxing and MMA, and now he does it for charity fighting.
For charity?
Yeah, for charity. I mean, he's so brave. I don't know anyone else who would take a punch like that to knock out cancer. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a great guy. So.
You guys are superheroes. You are. I mean, I love you coming on. I need to get you back on the air at QVC for sure in London and represent my line. I was very proud to have you represent my line. You did a great job. Saw some of your clips on YouTube. And I'm so glad that you're well. And next time, I mean, it's amazing. My dogs are bouncing all over right now. Your kids, I don't hear at all. Like, they are so good.
It's 9:00 here in the UK, so they're sleeping. That's the only reason. Take a look if I can show you my chair. You can't see it. It is full of stickers because this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do to let them do so I can have a moment so mommy can talk on the phone and do work or have an interview. They sticker the furniture.
Well, you know what? I'm embracing the whole sticker thing. I know about it from my grandkids. I don't know what the sticker thing is, but if it works, it works. But I want to say your hair looks great.
Oh, so does yours. Now,
I'm glad that Mom's getting a moment to herself. Tell your husband hello. I know you've got your twin sister. Hopefully she's doing great in LA as well.
She is well. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, we're going to see you soon because we definitely want to have you back on. And thank you so much. Stay well, stay healthy, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to go listen to your podcast.
Thank you so much. See you again soon.
Thank you, Adrena Austin. We'll see you soon.
Bye now.
We are stronger together, in the warm air and Gulf breezes, by the sparkling water as the sun slowly sets, where pirates shout ahoy and treasure awaits, where gentle manatees swim past timeless minarets, with adventures to discover in historic districts, with diversity and charm, in our community by the bay, to make memories beyond measure when you return, because we are all stronger together. Where hope always shines, in the hip, urban heart of Florida's Gulf Coast beats, we will be ready for you in Tampa Bay, Florida's most resilient destination.
Hi, class of 2020. Huge congratulations to you. What it allows you to do in your life is amazing. I have taken all those memories and everything that I learned with me my entire life, from journalism, reporting, acting, stand-up comedy, becoming an author, and then changing into my 40s into becoming a designer, an award-winning designer, I must say, winning Entrepreneur of the Year, Enterprising Women of the Year, Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year, just incredible things. And I don't think I could have done it without my background. So I congratulate all of you. You will go forth and you will be the people to lead us and your family and the future into a whole new world of broadcasting and a new way that we'll see things because of the year 2020. It'll be a special year. And at the end of it all, we'll remember it as a world-changing year for the better and the smarter. So we congratulate you. Go forth, make us proud, reach out to us. My name is Rhonda Shear. You can find me on social media. And never, never listen to the word no. You can do it. Love you. Hello, I'm back. Change of hair. Cheers. Grab your glass, whatever you're drinking. Adrena Austin, lovely young lady who went through COVID-19, and she looks great, and I congratulate her on that, and I'm so glad she's well. She's the first person that I actually know that went through the virus, and She's young and strong. She was actually in my infomercial for the bra. So special lady, very special lady, and her husband. Anyway, we thank her from the UK, and for Dan. The show continues. So we do this little thing every week. We're starting to do Rhonda Remembers, where my producers put up a picture from like my past, kind of like Throwback Thursday on Facebook, and then I have to explain what it is. So let the surprise begin. Oh, okay. All right, that was me. I think my name was Flossie or something like that on the Dukes of Hazzard. So actually, I love telling this story because my husband was such a fan of Daisy Duke. And Daisy, when they put me in hot pants or shorts back then, long time ago, and a cute little like tied top, my midriff was showing. And then I showed up on the set and Daisy said, "Send that girl back to wardrobe." So I played a used car salesman, and they literally put my hair up, put that moo-moo on me, and then gave me glasses. I was mortified. So anyway, that's my story, and I remember that, and I was mortified that I had to look that way. But it's showbiz. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are joining me. Thank you all for tuning in. I see lots of people saying hello. Hey, Becky. Oh, very nice. Hi, guys. Heidi. Anything, Nick? If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask questions. We want to hear from you. We're going to make this as interactive, and every week we're getting a little better with the technical stuff. We're getting better. So I have some really special friends joining me now. We've done crazy stuff together. First, let me give you their introduction first. One is Martin Brown from the Tampa Bay area. Jay Hewlett, my dear friend, who is a teacher / stand-up comic from Los Angeles. And they're both part of a group called Damage Control Sketch Comedy, which has been around since 2003. And they've released 6 albums with 200 comedy sketches and all kinds of songs. They play all over the place. And wait, I have to give you some of the people that are in the group. It's Martin Brown, Jay Hewlett, G. May, who you saw, my producer, Ken Bradley, one of my other producers, Michelle Walker and Landon Smith and Melissa Gridley. Now, here's my question. How come I'm not in Damage Control? Like, we do all these crazy Halloween sketches. My dear friend Chuck Anderson does the sketches with me. Why aren't we in Damage Control? We'll get to that later. Anyway, they're very talented, and there they are.
Oh, just catching up on a little reading.
Jay is very smart and always has learned how to plug my book or plug something.
I know. I'm not getting laid, so I have to plug something.
Wait a minute, Gene. What happened to Martin?
Where is Martin there, Ken, or no?
Martin disappeared. He's probably grabbing something to eat. Is anybody else putting on weight during this?
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding? I'm wearing wigs to look thinner.
I've lost weight.
That's terrible. How can you lose weight? Van and I have been cooking like crazy meals. It's the COVID-15, like the fresh.
I think I used to eat out too much is what the deal is.
I went to the grocery.
You go back for seconds and then you order in. Okay, this is a perfect question. Jay, do you go to the grocery store or are you having deliveries?
During the peak, I had it delivered a couple times, but just recently I walked down there and my belly button got there 15 minutes before I did. I'm getting huge, Rhonda. I got on the elevator the other day. I had to go down.
But you're hanging. How is it in Los Angeles? It's not as bad there because everyone's social distances anyway. Unless they're kissing up someone for a part in a movie, no one's bothered with anyone. Oh,
hey, there's Martin Brown,
the very skinny Martin Brown, who is
he looks good.
COVID.
I'm looking at the whole screen.
Yeah, I mean he's like tiny.
I don't want you to see the mess behind me. That's why.
Wait a minute. First of all, everybody's hair looks great. Cheers.
Hold on, Rhonda.
Hair.
Before I go, Ken, I gotta do the hair jingle one time. Here we go. You ready, everybody?
I really like your hair. I really, really like your hair.
Oh, Jay's got a wig.
I like your hair.
That was done by the fabulous Erica Flaskamp, whose name is not, it was also not on Damage Control. But anyway, guys, oh my gosh. All right. So we all did this incredible film together. It was called the 48-Hour Film Festival, where we had to create, write, produce, costume. We didn't even know what the genre was, a film. And it was called You're All Gonna Die. And it was
how apropos.
we could probably play the whole thing. We probably have enough time. Yeah, it's 9:37. You have it tuned up? Wouldn't it be fun? Let's see if the boys there, let's challenge them to see if they can put on a film within a film. That's us doing we've done all kinds of stuff. Plus, you guys are amazing and famous and iconic. But wait, let me speak to Jay for a second, then I'm going to come to you, so Martin. So you've been into the store. Are you going to Ralph's in LA? Where are you going?
Well, actually, they got these Smart and Finals now. They're huge.
Oh, yeah, no, they're good. They've got great chicken. The rotisserie chicken.
Yes. In Costco, I risked my life once to go to Costco.
Okay.
Because I had to get the Golden Cadillac margarita. I don't want to give them a plug, but that's a really good margarita. I'm
going to be drinking this tomorrow because that's the weight gain here is the drinking. They say more people drinking than ever before.
I get bored. I went down the street. I went one direction. I saw the band, and they went the other direction. I'm getting huge. Getting huge, Martin.
It's healthy.
So, is everybody behaving in LA? They're wearing masks in the grocery store, going up.
What's interesting is they put out the. They did the kind of stay-at-home alert early. And, San Francisco, I think California was one of the first states to go into that. People are getting bored now. People are getting restless, I think, like everywhere else. So one day they decide, the beach is open for recreation. People are out there with Frisbees and sitting and eating whole chickens, and I was one of them. But anyway, they were, so now people are kind of calmed down again, and they're following it. So I think we've had a lot less, results in New York, for example, and we're packed in too in places. So we don't have, you lived here for years for a time, but New York, I think the difference is the public transportation and all the things that people touch. I think they really, and I think you had experience with this. I think that first wave came over from Europe. So, and I think you were traveling through Europe, right? So,
I was, I got really sick and ended up in a hospital in Italy with all the symptoms, many of the symptoms of COVID, the chills, the fever, the shaking, but not the heavy chest that even Adrena was talking about. But, and I ended up in the hospital. And believe me, I'm a hypochondriac. For me to end up in a hospital anywhere where there was literally chickens walking through, blood on the floor, flies circling you, it was horrible. And, they weren't testing for this, but it was September. So according to everybody, that would have been too early. It was definitely some kind of coronavirus. It wasn't.
Maybe not though, but I got to tell you right now, you look fantastic, young lady.
Well, thank you. So do you. And don't worry, Martin, we're coming to you, but Jay and I are having a little love affair here. Yeah, because I miss LA. I do.
Don't tell Van that I'm sleeping with you.
He's sleeping with my up all night. And if anybody gets up all night through rhondashear.com, you get a free bra. So
really good. I'm still reading, but it's really
good. It's really good.
I loved your one comment in the one chapter where you talked about being not promiscuous in Hollywood. Now, Martin and we've slept our way to the bottom. We did not follow that, but
yeah. Well, I that's what happened is I didn't sleep around and I went the same direction. So that's it. Because back then, the Me Too, they would tell you if you don't sleep with me, you're out of the business. So I had to duck and cover. I was constantly changing. That's how I got into comedy. But it's, look, there you are with Cato. We've done some crazy stuff too, even though I'm not considered to be part of your little group, but that's okay. So the other thing is I have to go back really, really quickly to the virus and then I'll get off of that because this is about being light. But I have to tell you, I am a hypochondriac. I am terrified. And I keep reading more and more that it's airborne. It's and it can last in the air for even outside for 8 to 14 minutes. So I'm having friends over tomorrow for a swim in the backyard. Should I ask them to wear masks while they're swimming? And not swimming masks, but surgical masks. I don't know what to do.
Tell them to wear a wetsuit. You can never be too careful.
It's Chuck. It's Chuck. And you know, with
Oh,
Chuck, I don't know where he's been. I don't know where Chuck's been.
He's like
I
your
don't
brother.
know.
He's
I know.
like your brother. How much trouble can you get in with Chuck?
Well, I don't know.
lots.
How about you, Martin? Tell me what's going on with you. Martin has been Santa Claus. He's been my lover. He's been scary things. He's worn crazy teeth for me. We've done so many fun things. Do you think we'll ever be able to do those things again? I'm going to have to do them remotely. What's going to happen?
I think we will, sure. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. But I'm hoping in the fall, maybe we'll be able to do another Halloween thing. Who knows? Who knows what Halloween's going to look like? I guess trick-or-treating's completely out the window. I mean, how do kids do that?
But you know what? I really did read this in the New York Times. You know, they have these obscure articles because I'm reading everything now. I have to read all sides of everything to get my information. I know way too much about this disease. But anyway, there's this whole thing because people are spending so much time alone that they're seeing a lot of like ghosts. And I mean, they wrote about it. I mean, they told these different stories about people that are, you know, that they are swearing on it. Things are moving. So the thing is it because they're usually out of the house when the ghosts are there? Or, you know, but you can actually Google this from the New York Times. It comes up about supernatural things really going on right now. So, you know, I love all that. That's why we had Dan Myrick on earlier, who was fabulous because I love spooky things.
Well, you have a ghost in one of your bedrooms. I've seen it.
Yes.
The hair thing moved, and the bobby pins all moved around the desk. Oh God! I did.
Sorry.
The hairbrush.
I didn't.
The hairbrush moved.
Did you say hair? Wait, hold on.
And then
True story though.
Then we played with the Ouija board, and all things went awry. Yeah, that was bad. That was now, Gene, welcome.
Rhonda, I think you're part of Damage Control. You're a featured player.
Sure.
I'm not in the credits. You know, actors want to be in the credits. I'm not in the credits.
That's bad, Gene. We got to.
I mean, I don't want to say anything, but I have at least 5 followers on Facebook, and you know, that clout could make you guys bigger, and you're not using it.
I think she should get a certificate or something, like an honorary degree.
Oh wow, Chuck is Chuck is tuning in and is listening to me because he's my guest with Karen, and he goes, he has the Esther Williams mask. You know, Chuck always comes through being funny. He does.
In every Halloween sketch, he is hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah. The thing is, Chuck doesn't know how funny he is, which makes him funnier. And there's different stages. You know, if he just starts to drink, he's like a little cranky and gets a little sarcastic. But then when he's really toasted, he's hysterical. Oh, there's Chuck from our last Halloween. That was fabulous. So none of you all are doing a character. So right now, and I want Jean to pop up, I want all of you all to do a quick, like, hello to Rhonda in character and say something about the social distance socialing hour in one of your favorite characters. Let's hear what good little improvisational actors you are. Or maybe I should set up an improv right now that you 3 have to do.
Who's going to start?
Okay, here's what it is. All 3 of you have to woo me for a part in the next film that I'm producing right here at the House.
Okay, one at a time. Jay goes first.
Woo me, woo me, woo me.
Woo her, Jay.
In a character.
So I'm pitching you an idea, or I'm trying to get an audition?
No, you're wooing me. You're doing the old-fashioned stuff that now you would go to jail for. You're wooing me, you know, like.
Oh, wooing you. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Rhonda, you're so purty. If I was next to you right now, if I had a body like yours, I'd stay home at night and watch it. You are just one hot mama. And I need to be in your movie because my name is Charlie Sparks. And if you don't hire me, you're all going to die.
Rhonda, we've worked together before. We've had a very strong relationship working.
Yeah,
the movie we're making is actually called You're All Gonna Die 2. I think you might be familiar with the first one. I think you'd be perfect for it. There are some things we need to get straight between us, but I think you do very well. We'll work on that.
Ooh, wow, and he did it without funny teeth.
All right.
Okay, Gene, I have to say this before you start.
Yes.
Like, you're not in character. You're not really good with wooing. I've seen your love life, so I think.
Oh my gosh, you burned me. I got so burned. Oh my God. I'm walking around Rhonda with my rusty walker and you really take me down. I really need this part. I've got all kinds of pills and medical supplies that you can borrow if you just give me just a chance to be in your movie. Please give me a chance.
Well, I have to say, you guys have to be the most 3 romantic leading men that I have ever been wooed by.
Yes, a Rusty Walker. You can't.
I think the Rusty Walker may have actually won.
And my CBD pills. I'm taking marijuana, but I'm not getting high.
Kind of a screwed up dating game, ain't it?
Hey, guys.
Yes.
This is true, and everybody listening, you can Google this on YouTube, or you can YouTube it.
Google?
Wait, it's a YouTube show. You have to listen to this because my friend Steve Anderson showed me this. So there's this YouTube show that is it's on the air in the UK because they do everything fun over there. And it is a nude dating game. Have you seen that?
No.
So no, you have to see it. Okay, so there's just like the dating game, except there's 5 contestants, either male or female. And then there's the one who's asking the question, who's going to pick the date. So first what they do is they're behind these screens and you can find this on YouTube. It's wild. So they lift the screen up to the genitalia area.
Genitals.
So the person who's picking the date has to make comments like, whether it's a male or female, like, whoa, that looks good, and explain what looks good about the genitalia. Has to go into detail, like, well, that's really good, or I'm not going to go there. And then they go up to the chest. So with guys, you can have the ripped abs. With girls, you can have the perky boobies. And they go up to that. And then they have to describe in detail that part and what they like about it. Then they have to make their choice on the date between the genitals and the boobs without seeing the face. And then after you can find it on YouTube. And then after they make their decision, then the naked girl or guy comes running out and hugs and kisses the dressed person. And it is definitely the dating game 2020. You have to.
That sounds much better.
You had me at genitalia.
In the U.S., they take naked people and they throw them in the woods with no food. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
No.
Show.
What do you mean? Is that
Naked and Afraid?
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I love Naked and Afraid, but they hide everything. I mean, they put the little blurry thing.
Oh, they put blurry dots.
Yeah, this is literally, you see everything. You see
the pee-pees and the boo-boobs?
You see everything. No blurry. And actually, if you want to know the truth, the girl then comes out after, or the boy, dressed, and they usually look hotter then. They're not so sexy necessarily, because they're just standing there. And they're just standing there. And it's wild, though. Only in the UK and not here. But you know what's very interesting is there's a lot of people looking for content right now. See, this is when we should be doing stuff. Because even I got a little call from LA for something, which, you never know about that stuff. But because I think people are blowing through content, they're looking at YouTube, they're looking at everybody is binge watching everything.
People are blowing what?
Blowing through content, looking at it's the time. We should be doing a show right now, like a home show.
We are doing a show. This is a show, isn't it?
I don't want to brag, but there isn't enough pixelation for me.
Wait.
Hey, you need a new carrier.
Just stay there.
Okay.
If you have a postage stamp, I'm good.
I need my Geritol pills.
You got a postage stamp, I'm in.
Oh,
now we're talking.
I lost my server.
I lost my servant.
Hey, where's
my fan, by the way?
Servant. I said server. I lost my server. Okay,
How's Van doing, by the way?
Van's doing well, thank you. I have to tell you that we've had everything delivered, but I've still opened the door to some germs that could come through, and I'm a freak. I really am a hypochondriac. This is scary for me. I mean, and I'm scared. I mean, I pray for everybody.
He's a gentleman and a scholar. That man, I like that guy. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's good. I think we're going to have to live with this virus, so I don't think they're going to find a cure for it. And I don't know. What do you all think? Just for fun.
I think it'll be at least a year.
For the vaccine.
Yeah, at least a year, 18 months more.
Are you going to take that first vaccine? I don't know.
Well, I'm going to wait till somebody grows a third eyeball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll have somebody on that UK British dating show that has 2 wieners.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I volunteered to be for the first vaccines. They call me naked and afraid and also vaccinated.
Vaccinated.
I love Naked and Afraid. I'll tell you what else I love. Okay, so Chuck got me into this. First of all, I love Dead to Me. That is a great show.
Oh, I love that show.
Love it. It is so twisted. It is so great. Chuck Anderson just said he blows through content. He loves blowing.
He does.
And then
So
Chuck turned me on to Schitt's Creek. That
is a great show.
Is a great show. So I didn't know it, but Chuck told me this, and then I actually spoke to our friend at the Mahaffey that the whole cast was booked before all this virus came along
I didn't know that. Damn it.
for 2 shows.
I hate
And
the virus.
I didn't realize it was such a cult following. I mean, I think it is so well written and so well done.
Yeah.
And then what else did we watch? We watched something else. It was something else that we watched that was good. But those have been my 2 favorite. And Van and I don't like that kind of. We're not good. We have no attention span.
Maybe we should write something funny.
Maybe we should.
Crazy.
I'm waiting.
Just for a change of pace, Gene.
Let's change up the pace and write something a little crazy.
Well, I mean, you've got this studio in Tampa now.
I do.
Here's the other thing. There's also, my friend, who's the president of MGM, they're doing like all these shows. Like, I don't know if Survivor was from home, but they were doing all these shows like The Voice from home. So why can't you brilliant producer directors come up with something that we can do from home?
We should. The new Halloween video should be each monster from their house quarantined, right? So Dracula can be over here, and Frankenstein can be over there, and we're all quarantined.
Find new characters. There's kids that don't know who Frankenstein is.
Really? You don't know who Frankenstein is?
You need new.
All right.
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek, Jake.
Why can't you write something? Are you guys writing and being productive right now?
I am writing. Yes, I'm writing comedy.
I do have a show that I help produce on Wednesday nights called Comedians at Denny's. So I've got you guys on the list to be on that show.
But you know what's sad? It used to be comedians in LA at what was the deli in
Jerry's?
Jerry's, and then there was the other one near.
Oh my God, there's a lot of them.
Oh, I know, but there was another one that was like so famous that everybody went to. Blanking on the name, getting old there. I know, and Nate Now's is opening on Monday. I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
So reopening.
Have you been shopping at Publix? Do you go out shopping, or you have
No,
any delivery?
Dan and I have a big order coming. We have a big liquor order coming from ABC Wines. Now I know you love to shop with me at Publix. I know.
Oh, I do. I think the days of them handing us food though over the counter are probably gone.
Yeah. Oh wow. Costco. All those little tasty things. No more of that.
What about Sizzler and the Golden Corral? Maybe that's a good.
Oh yeah, and Sweet Tomatoes. I think they shut. I think
they're out of
Sweet
business.
Tomatoes going bankrupt or something.
Yeah, they're out of business.
I can tell you, salad bars, and they just opened that salad bar at Publix. First of all, they've always skeeved me because you don't know who's been doing what.
Right.
Hey, why couldn't we do like a murder mystery? This is like set up perfect for a murder mystery.
Like Clue.
Like you have each of the characters, and then they each come on, and then a detective, and then you have your people that are watching.
Wait, I have something to show you.
Uh-oh.
Please.
All right. Now we're talking.
I say we have a half fish, half man cop.
Oh, I love that.
Tracking down like a tuna fish killer.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. We need to do an online Ouija board. We need to contact a ghost online.
Right.
I know this is freaking people out. I don't understand why people get so freaked out over Ouija boards. Look at I mean, some people really get freaked. This is a really old one. I found this one on eBay. This is like the real deal. This one.
I can tell.
Yeah, we should do it. We should put candles by you, Rhonda, and do the whole thing one night.
I love it. I mean, I don't know why
Temp
people get
fake,
so
temp
freaked
fake.
out. I'm looking for a ghost, and I haven't found one yet. Maybe
You know,
tonight.
another one that's good too that I think is right up Rhonda's alley is cooking because you know your stuff. You know
Yeah,
your stuff, young lady.
we've been cooking a lot, hence the weight gain.
We could get you and Chuck to do a cooking segment.
So I got nervous over the meat because I like meat, even though we don't eat that much meat. I usually eat fish, but I got so nervous over the shortage of meat that I stocked up. All right, I know you guys have seen my freezer. My freezer is completely. We had to get one of those vacuum pack things that vacuum packs meat. That's how much meat we have. So kind of scary.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meat.
We have a lot of chicken. A lot of chicken. You know, a lot of chicken.
Chicken and fish. Hey, do you have to say hair to drink, or can I just drink?
Hair. I love your hair.
I really like your hair. I really.
Wow.
There you go.
That's catchy.
That's a nice afro. That's a nice afro you got there, Jake.
Okay, so I'm going to invite you guys that I think that you should do a 5-minute bit on this show every week.
We can do that.
Yeah, because you know, Gene always contacts me 5 minutes before you go on, and I always say, "Who canceled?"
Well, we know that Jay's not doing anything, right? He's just hanging out in his house.
2 weeks.
So while we're in quarantine, I need you all every 5 minutes to close out the show with me.
Okay.
Except I want you to be funny next week.
Get out of hell. Oh,
I
I don't have appeals. I don't have appeals. I don't have my
I'm gonna put that in my notes.
I want you to each come up. This is your assignment for the week with 3 characters.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
3.
Homework.
3 characters.
Gosh.
Fast. In and out of them. In and out of them. In and out.
We already have the characters. I got my whittling stick man.
I don't want to hear about them, and I want them. I want them clearly defined.
Oh, they're defined. I'm going to sing.
Clearly defined. I don't want them like in and out of accents. I want them clearly defined.
All right.
And on that note, I would like to thank all of my fabulous guests tonight, and to you, hair. Everybody's hair was straight up. We're watching the Rhonda Shear Social Distance Social Hour. Thank you, Connie, for joining in. And Chuck has been having fun with us the whole time. I would love to thank the iconic and serious Dan Myrick, who was with us from the Blair Witch Project earlier. Adrena Austin from the UK. That was really awesome of her. We take that a little bit earlier because it's really late over there. And then my dudes. I got my dudes from Damage Control. Martin Brown and Jay Hewlett and Jean May. And I also want to thank my producers, which is also Jean May, and I love him, and Ken Bradley and Marie Crane. And this has been fun. Next week, I think, will be our 5th week. And technically, we're getting better and better. Anyway, I thank all of you all for joining us. Be safe this week. We really want you to get interactive with us, so please ask questions. And we'll find a way to get you all on soon, too. So when you call in, maybe we can pop you up. In the meantime, love you. Be safe. Happy Saturday night. Have a fun Sunday. And cheers. Cheers.
Quarantine don't know what to do. Hold on, baby, Rhonda, she's got you. Grab your computer, log on, baby, you got the power. It's the social distancing social life. The social distancing social life.